Hey guys, it's Gwen, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing some books to read this spring. So these are just some books that I wanted to read during the spring season, so I thought it would be a fun idea to share with you guys. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, the first book I have for you is Heart Bones by Colleen Hoover. I've already read this one and I thought it was pretty good, so I thought I would recommend it to you guys. The synopsis says, after a childhood filled with poverty and neglect, Bea Grimm finally has her hard-earned ticket out of Kentucky with a full ride to Penn State. But an unexpected death leaves her homeless and forces to spend her summer in Texas with a father she barely knows. Anxious for the summer to go by quickly, Bea has no time or patience for Samson, the wealthy, brooding guy next door. Yet the connection between them is too intense to ignore. But with their upcoming future sending them to opposite ends of the country, the two decide to maintain only a casual summer fling. Too bad neither has any idea that a current is about to drag both their hearts out to sea. So that was Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. And if that sounds interesting to you, you should definitely give it a read. I thought it was interesting. There was like an unexpected plot twist near the end of the book, and that definitely will keep readers on their toes. So if you're interested in that, then you should read Heartbuds by Colleen Hoover. The next book I have for you is A Funny Story by Emily Henry. So it says, it's a funny story. Daphne always loved the way her fiance Peter told her story. How they met on a blustery day, fell in love over an errant hat, and moved back to his lakeside hometown to begin their life together. He really was good at telling it, right up until the moment he decided he was actually in love with his childhood best friend Petra. Which is how Daphne begins her new story, stranded in beautiful Waning Bay, Michigan, without friends or family, but with a dream job as a children's librarian that barely pays the bills, and proposing to be roommates with the only person who could possibly understand her predicament, Petra's ex, Miles Nowak. Scruffy and chaotic, with a penchant for taking solace in the sounds of heartbreak love ballads, Miles is exactly the opposite of practical, buttoned-up Daphne, whose coworkers know so little about her they have a running bet that she's either FBI or in witness protection. The roommates mainly avoid one another until one day, while drowning their sorrows, they form a tenuous friendship and a plan. If said plan also involves posing deliberately misleading photos of their summer adventures together, well, who could blame them? But it's all just for show, of course, because there's no way Daphne could actually start her new chapter by falling in love with her fiance's ex, right? So that was a funny story by Emily Henry. I've read some of her other books too, such as Beach Read, Happy Place, and Book Lovers. So if you enjoyed those books, you should definitely give this one a chance. It was a really fun like summer beach read that is like kind of light, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's like a fun romance. There is a little bit of like spice in it if you're interested in that, but it's very mild. It's not like that crazy, but that was Funny Story by Emily Henry. Okay, the next book I have for you guys is The Pears Apartment by Lucy Foley. So it says, Jess needs a fresh start. She's broken alone and she's just left her job under less than ideal circumstances. Her half-brother Ben didn't sound thrilled when she asked if she could crash with him for a bit, but he didn't say no, and surely everything will look better from Paris. Only when she shows up to find a very nice apartment. Could Ben really have afforded this? He's not there. The longer Ben stays missing, the more Jess starts to dig into her brother's situation, and the more questions she has. Ben's neighbors are an eclectic bunch, and not particularly friendly. Jess may have come to Paris to escape her past, but it's starting to look like it's Ben's future that's in doubt. Everyone's a neighbor, everyone's a suspect, and everyone knows something they're not telling. So this is a book I'm currently reading, actually, and I thought it was pretty interesting. It's kind of like a mystery in a way. Like, we're trying to find out what happened to Ben, and then we learn about, like, how this book is told from the perspective of Jess and some other characters that you'll meet in the book. So yeah, I thought this was a really fun like summer read. Well, it's not summer yet, but it's spring read. And I read her other book, The Guest List, so if you enjoyed that, you should read this as well. Okay, the next book I have for you guys is The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. It says, it's the opening night of the manor, and no expense has been spared. The infinity pool sparkles, and the manor meal cocktail is poured with a heavy hand. Everyone wears linen, and yet, just outside the manor's immaculately kept grounds, an ancient forest bristles with secrets. Skirmishes interrupt between locals and the manor staff, and the whispers keep coming about an old piece of pagan folklore. It must be folklore? The Nightbirds, an avenging force that can be called upon to make right wrongs that elude the law. Come the Sunday morning of opening weekend. There's been a fire. A body's been discovered. Something's not right with the guests. What happened on the grounds of the manor the past 36 hours? And who or what is the cause? Everyone has an agenda. Everyone has a past. But not everyone will survive the Midnight Feast. So that was The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. So the next book I have is Confess by Colleen Hoover. It says, at 21, Auburn Reed has lost everything important to her. In the fight to rebuild her shattered life, she set her goals, and there is no room for mistakes. But when Auburn walks into a Dallas art studio in search of a job, she doesn't expect to find a deep attraction to Owen Gentry, the enigmatic artist who works there. Auburn takes a chance and puts her heart in control, only to discover that Owen is keeping a major secret, the magnitude of which could destroy everything. To save their relationship, Owen needs to confess. So that was Confess by Colleen Hoover. The next recommendation I have is Maybe Someday, also by Colleen Hoover. It says, at 22 years old, Sydney is enjoying a great life. She's in college, working a steady job, in love with her wonderful boyfriend, Hunter, and rooming with her best friend, Tori. But everything changes when she discovers that Hunter is cheating on her, and she's forced to decide what her next move should be. Soon, Sydney finds herself captivated by her mysterious and attractive neighbor, Rich. She can't take her eyes off him or stop listening to the passionate way he plays his guitar every evening out on his balcony. And there's something about Sydney that Rich can't ignore either. They soon find themselves needing each other in more ways than one. An angsty tale of friendship, betrayal, and romance, Maybe Someday will immerse readers in Sydney's tumultuous world from the very first page. So that was Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. The next book I have for you guys is The Perfect Couple by Ellen Hilderbrand. It says, from New York Times bestselling author Ellen Hilderbrand, they're the perfect couple, about to have the perfect wedding, until a shocking discovery reveals that nothing is ever as good as it seems. It's Nantucket wedding season, also known as summer. The sight of a bride racing down Main Street is as common as the sun setting at Madaket Beach. The Otis Winbury wedding promises to be an event to remember. The groom's wealthy parents have spared no expense to host a lavish affair at their oceanfront estate. But it's going to be memorable for all the wrong reasons after tragedy strikes. A body is discovered in Nantucket Harbor just hours before the ceremony, and everyone in the wedding party is a suspect. As Chief of Police Ed Cabanach interviews the bride, the groom's famous mystery novelist mother, and even a member of his own family, he discovers that every wedding is a minefield, and no couple is perfect. Featuring beloved characters from The Castaways, Beautiful Day, and A Summer Affair, The Perfect Couple proves once again that Ellen Hilderbrand is a queen of the summer beach read. So that was The Perfect Couple by Ellen Hilderbrand. The next book I have for you guys is 28 Summers, also by Ellen Hilderbrand. It says, their secret love affair has lasted for years, but this will be the summer that changes everything. When Mallory Blessing's son, Link, receives her deathbed instructions to call a number on a slip of paper in a desk drawer, he certainly does not expect Jake McCloud to answer. It's the late spring of 2020, and Jake's wife, Ursula de Gornsey, is the frontrunner in the upcoming presidential election. Link is sure there's been a mistake. How do Mallory and Jake know each other? Flashback to the sweet summer of 1993, Mallory has just inherited a beachfront cottage on Nantucket from her aunt, and she agrees to host her brother Cooper's bachelor party. Cooper's college friend Jake McCloud attends, and Jake and Mallory form a bond that will persevere through marriage, children, and Ursula's stratospheric political rise, until Mallory learns she's dying. Inspired by the film Same Time Next Year, which Mallory and Jake watch every summer, 28 Summers is the unforgettable story of an unconventional love that knows only one season. So that was 28 Summers by Ellen Hilderbrand. The next book I have for you is The Rom-Comers by Catherine Center says, Emma Wheeler longs to be a screenwriter. She spent her life studying, obsessing over, and writing romantic comedies, but she's also been the sole caretaker for her dad. Now, when she gets a chance to rewrite a script for famous screenwriter Charlie Yates, it's a break too big to pass up. Emma's sister steps in for caretaking duties, and Emma moves to LA for 6 weeks. Charlie Yates doesn't want to write with anyone, but Emma's not going down without a fight. She will convince him that love stories matter, even if she has to kiss him senseless to do it. But what if that kiss is accidentally amazing? What if the love story they're writing comes true? That was the Rom-Comers by Catherine Center. And now for the last book I have, it's The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. It says, Rachel takes the same commuter train every morning. Each day it rattles down the track and stops at the signal that allows her to watch the same couple breakfasting on their deck. She feels like she knows them. Jess and Jason, she calls them. Their life, as she sees it, is perfect. Not unlike the life she recently lost. And then she sees something shocking. It's only a minute until the train moves on, but it's enough. Unable to keep it to herself, Rachel offers what she knows to the police. Has she done more harm than good? So that was The Girl on the Train by Paul Hawkins. So anyways, I think that's going to be it for today's video. So if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below what videos I should do next. And also, what books you're excited to read this spring. And also make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And turn on the bell to be notified every time that I post new videos. And also, leave a like on this video. And comment down below what your favorite part of this video is. And I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!